Hello guys and welcome to my video, and in this one we are going to be talking about my two personal favorites boards I have right now, and it is the ASP32 dev board and the Arduino Uno. And then also we are going to be talking about some more curious boards, but those for later. So first I would want to talk about the Arduino Uno and why it's my favorite. So it is not very small, as you can see. This is compared to my hand. It's pretty big, but as first it has this very weird connector, but it also has this for power, which is also a weird connector. I actually don't know why they made it so weird, but this one is for data and power. This one is for power only, as you can see, only power. It's only plus minus, there could be no data transfer through that. Then it has 13 digital pins with the two special ones that you shouldn't use. It has 3 grounds, one 5 volt, one 3.3 volt, and some analog pins. And of course a boot button. It boots automatically when you power it, but this can reset the board, so it will reset any scripts that are running on it. It also has the holes, these holes to screw, if you need to screw it to some surface like this. And then what I love the most about it actually has short circuit protection, which means if you short circuit it, it will just shut down and not actually burn. And yeah, it has some good storage, it is pretty powerful. It's just a good board, and I would say one of the best boards to actually start the hobby with. Then we got the ESP32, which is one of my newest boards. And again, it has plenty of pins. I think around the same or even more than the Arduino. And yeah, this is the ESP32 dev board. At least that's how they say it in the Arduino ID app. It's marked as it there. I added this heatsink on it. Yeah, it heats up a lot actually. So it has the micro USB connector, 2 little buttons. I'm not sure what they do. I know one of them is the boot button, but I didn't have to use them yet. And an LED symbolizing that it's on. So if I were to power it on, so as you can see, if I power it on, oh come on, the LED will shine. Now I can disconnect it again. And also, this does not have short circuit protection, so you have to be careful when using it. But it was actually developed very wisely because the 5 volt and the ground is on the opposite sides. So there's a very small chance you will actually short circuit it. It actually only has male headers. I maybe will put some female ones on later, but for now, when prototyping, I'll just stick it into a breadboard as it's made to fit in it. As you can see, if I just push it down a bit more here, yeah, it perfectly fits and can be easily used for prototyping. Yeah, and of course the main highlight is I completely forgot about that. It has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, which means it can be easily used to make RC cars, remote controlled stuff, smart home stuff, really anything. So it is a very, very good board to have when maybe let's say when already you know a bit about the hobby and want to just have something special. And then we move on to the curious boards, which the first, maybe you wouldn't expect, the microbit. And maybe you will say, oh come on, this is not a very weird board, it's pretty normal. Well, to me it is. Because maybe you will say, well, it's just a kind of beginnerish board, right? No. To me, it is very curious. As first, it only has 1, 2, 3 pins and only runs 3 volts and the ground. Next, also it has 2 built-in buttons that can be connected with a program and an LED kind of screenish thingy, which almost, I don't think, maybe one Arduino board I know has a little screen just for fun, but none has built-in buttons, because these are not like boot or anything. These are just like buttons you can then use to program the board. So yeah, it is very beginner friendly, but not really in the way that would make a good board. It more feels annoying because it has very little pins, so you can't really do any big projects with it. So I would recommend not buying this board if you want to actually do some serious stuff with microcontrollers and things like that, and not just want to learn a bit. If you just want to learn a bit, maybe it's kind of good. There's even like a Scratch-like block language for it that you can program it in, or it actually runs, I think, JavaScript. So that's this one. And actually that reminds me, we should also actually talk about what they're programmed in. So for programming this one, I use the Arduino IDE app, which is C#. Then this one, I also use the Arduino IDE app, which is also C#. As we said, this one has like Scratch, like blocks and JavaScript. And then we move on to our last curios board, which I also use Arduino IDE for. So it's also C#, and it is this miniature RP 2040, which is one of my most curious boards because of its size. Like, look at it compared to my finger. This is absolutely miniature. Maybe something that you can imagine more. Here's a coin. So here it is next to a coin. It is actually very, very small. It, of course, again has two buttons. It has a reset and a boot, which when turning it on, you actually have to quickly press boot twice, but only once, then it already is booted and it's good to go. Actually bought on AliExpress for only around $3. When it came, the numbers of the pins were messed up because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. But it's not actually like that. It's 1, 0, 20, 24, 12, 10, 13, 11, 25. So yeah, so whoever made it was pretty lazy. It has actually a USB-C connector. So as you can see, if I use a USB-C cable, it slides right on. This actually does not have an LED, so it will not shine, but it is on, and it is ready to go. And it does, I think, have short circuit protection. Like, I do think I short circuited it once and just turned itself off. Yeah, I actually did. I did short circuit and did have short circuit protection, which is also symbolized by the fact that the ground and 5 volt and 3.3 volt is right next to each other, which, as on this board, of course, it's very smartly made because there's ground and 5 volt like very far away from each other, so you're probably not going to short circuit it, while this one has it next to each other, same as the Arduino. But here you don't have to worry because they're female ones and they're very hard to short circuit. As on this one, there are females. It also came with some male headers, but I did not solder them on yet, as I don't really use this board. It was more of a little curiosity find because it's so small. Yeah, and that, I think, pretty much concludes it for today. Because this is probably my favorite microcontrollers and the most curious microcontrollers I have. And I hope to see you next time at another video.